Refused to remove child porn. Twitter wouldn't, because violate policies it did not. Well, suppose perfect sense that makes, because temporarily banned I was, a while back, for calling someone a f***ing retard, because violated policies that did. However, porn does not. Perfect sense that makes, yep, perfect sense.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these mother
pedos
on this mother
Twitter.
Everybody strap in!
Jack, you stupid mother...
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and Twitter has literally hit rock bottom, both in financial status as it reaches the rock bottom of the S&P 500, and also in their refusal to remove, let's just say, the type of images that we would all agree would not be removed, in fact, or that should be removed. They literally have said that they didn't violate terms of service. Now, Twitter has been up to no good for quite some time. I believe a unfair bias in their banning and a clear blind spot to people that they agree with that would fit the same requirements that they apply to others. Meaning, we could talk about a group of people yesterday that were, breaking windows at the DNC headquarters that was organized on Twitter. Here is your evidence of that. It didn't show. It's not showing it. I'm blocked. Well, I have a workaround, real time. Here, I took a screenshot of it. This is, whatever happened in Portland yesterday, this was organized on Twitter. Hundreds and hundreds of retweets, interactions with people in this on this account. But, Twitter doesn't worry about that. That's a cause that they agree with. Well, apparently another cause that they agree with are images of kitties, and not the meow meow furry kind. Now, we do know that Twitter supports maps, which I'm not going to explain to you. Just understand that it is a pathetic rebranding attempt for creeps. They're not escaping the P to the E to the D to the O label. You can call yourself a map all you want, but we know what you really are. Now, the New York Post puts out this article saying Twitter refused to remove those type of images because it didn't violate policies. You can see a lot of the replies here. Blair White saying, "Don't you dare have a different political view than Twitter. That would be too much." Now, interestingly enough, it does violate terms of service right here in the safety. They have a zero tolerance for that, except it runs wild. You can look for there's hundreds of people who have cataloged the maps on Twitter problem. But, Twitter's got a lot of other problems, of course. If you look just written yesterday, Twitter stock at the rock bottom of the S&P. The stock is the worst performing S&P 500 name this year. Just like Donald Trump, Twitter Inc. stockholders have lost out this month. While the former president was being permanently banned from social media platform in the wake of everything that happened, Twitter stock is down 12% thus far in 2021, based on early trading on Thursday, at one stage slipping back to $45.10, at which the stock opened on the final day of its initial public offering in 2013. The January performance is the weakest among components of the S&P 500 index, which itself is up 2.5% to date. So you can't look and say, well, the whole market's down, tech is down. That's just not true. The decision to ban Trump, who had more than 88 million followers on his real Donald Trump account, could have had a negative impact on users and engagement, at least in the short term, according to analysts. Rosenblatt Securities and all but secures a dismal near-term outlook as it leaves little room to deliver positive 2021 results. Separately, Argus Research speculated that Twitter could lose several $1 million daily active users as a result of the ban, and could use several million daily active users as a result of the ban, and that could move further, push Congress to move ahead with its anti-monopoly activities. Twitter representatives didn't immediately return emails for comment. Twitter's stock decline is notable among social media stocks. Facebook, which also suspended Trump's account, is down near a more modest 2.1%. Pinterest is up 10%. Snap, which permanently banned the former president, is up 4.3%. I don't think he wasn't even using Snapchat, so I would have expected no, backlash for that. Both were standout performers last year, with Snap tripling and Pinterest up more than 250%. Earlier this week, Bloomberg Intelligence wrote that Trump's ban could have a muted impact on social media companies over the long term, as improved average revenue per user, higher engagement, and ad budgets shift to digital may offset the declaration in monthly active users. Millions of daily active users lost. All-time low performer from a stock. Seems like it was worth it. I mean, I'm a fan of it. And then you get this article today from the New York Post saying Twitter refused to remove blah, blah, blah because it didn't violate policies. Twitter refused to take down widely shared images and videos of you-know-what because it, quote, didn't find a violation of the company's, quote, policies, a scathing new lawsuit alleges. The federal suit filed Wednesday by the person who was in the image and their mother. Twitter says Twitter made money off the clips, which showed a kid doing things they shouldn't do. We'll put it that way. And this is actually just a really sad story all around. Apparently, this kid got into a situation where they were blackmailed to make these images or make more and more images, or they, it's just terrible situation. Now, while John Doe's parents made reports, they filed a complaint with Twitter saying there were 2 tweets depicting this stuff of himself and they needed to be removed because they were against the law, harmful. Twitter sided pro letter C, letter P. A support agent followed up and asked for a copy of Doe's ID so they could prove it was him, and the teen complied. There was no response for a week, the family claims. So these images get posted to Twitter. First of all, they shouldn't exist on Twitter anyway, right? They were up for some unknown amount of period of time. They were reported. Here's the thing. Imagine this is Twitter. This is the process that Twitter went through. Somebody says, "Hey, here's some very disturbing images. You should probably take it down." Twitter's response, instead of just seeing it, understanding what it is, and knowing that it should come down, says, actually, we really need the person that's involved in the image to then prove it's them. Otherwise, we're going to let this exist. By the way, they were 13 at the time. Around the same time, the mother filed 2 complaints to Twitter reporting the same material, and for a week, she also received no response. Finally, on January 28th, Twitter replied and said they wouldn't be taking down the material, which had already racked up 167,000 views and over 2,000 retweets. Thanks for reaching out. We've reviewed the content and didn't find a violation of our policy, so no action will be taken at this time, the response reads. If you believe there's potential copyright infringement, please start a new report. The content is hosted on a third-party website. You'll need to contact them. Somebody looked at this tweet. Multiple people looked at it, which was a 14-year-old engaging in what, exactly what you would, exactly what you're thinking. Somebody looked at that and said, actually, I mean, is this a copyright thing? Because, you know, we're just going to leave it up. 163,000 people enjoyed this image. They should all be on a list. You know, if you send out a spicy political tweet, though, or make a joke, you're off the platform. Now, 2 days later, the mom was connected with an agent from the Homeland Security through a mutual contact who successfully had the videos removed on January 30th. It took the government forcing Twitter to remove this. Only after this takedown demand from a federal agent did Twitter suspend the user accounts that were distributing the image and videos. This is directly in contrast to what their automatic reply message said, and user agreements state that they protect children. Now, the suit goes on to allege Twitter knowingly hosts creeps who use the platform to exchange this type of images. We know they do. They're called maps. You can look them up. I recommend not. And profiting from it by including ads interdispersed between tweets, advertising, or requesting the material. They're going to lose this suit. I think they're going to lose this suit, rightfully so. This on the back end, of course, you know, everything turning up, everyone not turning up Millhouse. Twitter finally acting on the embassy. Finally, it took the entire world outrage for them to lock the account of a Chinese embassy for making a post about calling Uyghur Muslims baby-making machines, but wasn't removed by Twitter until more than 24 hours later. It had been replaced by a label saying this tweet is no longer available. Even though Twitter hides tweets that violate its rules, it still requires the account to actually manually delete the post, which they probably didn't do. I mean, this is Twitter, right? And you have our government right now actively looking to, you know, suppress competition. We saw it now that they're moving against Parler, you know, trying to hold them directly responsible for everything that happened at the Capitol. People say, why are you on Twitter? Well, I don't have any other viable tool to interact with my viewers and stay up on news as quickly as Twitter does. I had Parler for a couple of months, and then Amazon, Apple, Google worked together to take that away from us. They worked together with mainstream media, which ran endless hit pieces about Parler, which, yes, there were bad apples on Parler, but there are also bad apples on Twitter. Only one of them got deplatformed, though. Curious, isn't it? Here's to your continued decline, Twitter. Hey, if you made it to this point in the video and you're not yet subscribed, about 40% of my viewers remain unsubscribed. I hope today will be the day. I've earned it. There's a red subscribe button down below the video. If you click it, I would be greatly appreciative. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.